raposinhas! Olha quem está de volta! Isso mesmo, eu, Eduda, e esse daqui é o meu canal e caso você não é um inscrito, se inscreva. Bom, gente, estamos aqui no Paris, no cinema, que eu sempre mostro pra vocês em todas as lives, sempre falo das premiere que tem aqui, nos filmes da Netflix e tudo mais. E hoje, dia 11 de março, vai ter a premiere do filme novo da Millie Bobby Brown, The Electric State. E é óbvio, eu vim aqui conferir com vocês, consegui os ingressos, né? Eu fui convidada, porque eu já conheci a Millie Bobby Brown, porque eu fui no evento dela do livro e tudo mais. E aí eu vim aqui conferir o filme dela, né? Fui convidada. E é isso, eu vou ver se dá pra eu filmar pra vocês, não sei, porque é um cinema. Então vamos ver o que vai dar pra filmar, se vai dar pra tirar foto, qualquer coisa eu ponho foto, não sei, vamos ver. O evento fala pra você chegar às 4h30, mas ele começa só às 6h30, mas eu vim um pouquinho antes pra filmar pra vocês aqui sem fila, sem nada. E é isso, eu tô muito empolgada porque é a primeira vez que eu vou no Paris, que é o cinema, né, exclusivo das premieres da Netflix, e eu tô muito feliz por isso. E é isso, então, bora lá pro vídeo e é bom estar de volta. Ó, aqui é onde vai começar a fila, check-in, e eles anunciam, né, que é um evento que vai ser filmado, tudo mais. E é isso aí. O cinema é ali. Filmei já pra vocês, quando a gente entrar eu filmo mais detalhado, já vou ficar na fila pra garantir um bom lugar, né? Olha que legal, tem tipo táxi inspirado no filme, ó, do robozinho. Aí tá escrito, ó, Millie Bobby Brown e o Chris Pratt. Nossa, muito da hora isso. Acho que na hora vão começar, sei lá, uma fila, ó. É uma fila de pessoa, uma fila de táxi. Ah, tem um Pikachu, né? Aqui. Acabamos de colocar as pulseirinhas. Estamos já na fila, só esperando liberar. Acabou de liberar pra gente aqui, agora a gente tá na frente do cinema. Bebida e pipoca lá. Ó, vai ter pôster. Ah, o marido dela. Depois da gente ter visto, né, o marido da Millie, agora chegou a vez dos pôster, entregaram os pôster pra gente. E a caneta.
Wait, but also the side as well. Why would we do that? No, let's do a few over here real quick. Can I get a picture? Is that okay?
Bom, autógrafo dela. A foto não deu, mas tudo bem, eu já tenho foto com ela. Vou pôr a foto aqui. Não fiz tanta questão, a coitada tava correndo. Aí eu só peguei o autógrafo mesmo. Estamos com os ingressos, agora estamos entrando aqui. Depois de conhecer a Millie. Bora lá. Thank you. Straight down to the left. Keep it moving. entramos! Ganhamos pipoquinha. Eu tentei filmar pra vocês, não sei se deu muito certo. E é isso, estamos no VIP aqui, no andar de cima. E aí, a tela tá ali. Bora aproveitar o filme. Gente, ela tá muito linda. Vocês viram, né? Ela ainda tá loira. Nossa, muito linda. Arrasou. Arrasou demais. O bom é que o ingresso fica com a gente. Eu amo guardar ingresso de cinema e esse daqui é muito especial.
My name is Angela Russo Asta, and I'm one of the producers of The Electric State, and I'm so excited to have all of you here with us this evening. We're so grateful for you to come spend some time with us. We really made this movie for the audience, and we hope in a wonderful way and reminds you of some really important, we think, very timely themes. This film is inspired by the imaginative work of Simone Stalenhag, and we've taken a wondrous approach. Yes, please give it up for Simone. We've taken a wondrous approach to the world that he crafted, and we have a big grand adventure to share with you. And I'm really proud to say that at the center of it all is a strong and confident young woman who is of great integrity. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome the actress who portrays this woman and who reminds us both on screen tonight, but also off screen in her everyday life, of the importance to find human connection through compassion and despite all our differences. Please welcome the wonderful Millie Bobby Brown. To be here again at the Paris Theatre. Last time I was here we were doing Damsel, Eleanor Holmes. So to be here with another Netflix film means the world to me. This film was so much fun to film and I hope you have a lot of fun watching it. After I'll be doing a 15-minute panel, so stay in your seats, enjoy the film and much love.
Vai começar tudo. Acabou o filme.
This young woman is amazing. She's the heart and soul of this film. Can you please give a warm New York City welcome to You did it, you did it.
Hi, did you like it?
That's your focus group right now.
Yeah, when we just did the same screening in Madrid and like the Spanish fans were like, oh my god! You know, it's really lovely to see the different reaction to each place. It's yeah, very meaningful.
This is why you do it. Talk to me. Look, this audience just saw this insane spectacle. It's a giant movie. Movies don't get bigger than this. When you read the script, is that what you saw? Like in your wildest imagination, is that what you saw?
No. No, I mean we got a lookbook. We got the illustration novel, which is what the film is based on. But ultimately, you read things on the script and you just go, okay, sounds good. But for me, bringing the heart and soul of the movie was my priority. So ensuring that we stayed grounded in the story of this sibling, lovely relationship was what I wanted to make sure stayed, because it's so big and grand, but human connection is the core of the movie, so that was my main priority and that's what I saw in the script.
So dating back, like your origin story with this kind of goes back a number of years when you get an invitation, as I take it, to visit the Russos on the set of one of their Avengers movies. And from then on, you were like, I'd like to work with these guys. What did you see on set? Was it a vibe? Was it, I mean, you obviously see the films they make, but what was so exciting to you about potentially working with them?
I think for me, it was that they have such a family environment on set. They bring their crews from each film they do. So I saw this relationship, and the Russos, obviously with their grand scale films, but they have this really wonderful relationship with their crew and their cast. So when I went on, I was probably like 12, and I saw, Chris Hemsworth, and I was like, oh my God, these are all these things. I'm gonna be an actor one day. And then I was like, I want to be on the camera behind their camera, and being directed by them, and they wrote this character for me. So it was, I was really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe they kept me in mind like 6 years later.
I mean, I would imagine for 99.9% of actors to get on a set like this, which is, again, a large set, I would imagine, a lot of bells and whistles, would be intimidating. You've been on big sets. I mean, you've been on Stranger Things as big as TV gets. That being said, were there still aspects of this production that surprised you, that took you back?
Yeah, because on Stranger Things, Vecna is practical, so I'm working with an actor that's been in prosthetics for the last 12 hours, And then on Godzilla, I'm looking at a tennis ball, my neck always hurt. So it was like, I had never worked with motion capture, so all the robots that you see in the film were actually performed by motion capture actors. So my Kid Cosmo, was a little person. Her name was Devin, and she actually was my stand-in on a show I did at the very beginning of my career. And I saw her 10 years later, and she's like, I'm playing your little brother. I'm playing a robot. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I would say she was my sister. She was never my brother. But I worked with her, and so she walked and talked like a robot. Everyone did. So when Chris and I watched the film back, we watched the robots, and we were like, yeah, that's what we were acting with pretty much every day. And then the voice actors come in, Brian Cox, Jenny Slate, Woody Harrelson, and you go, oh wow, that's like so much larger than we thought, on set. But a lot of what the Russos did was, yes, it's really grand scale, but a lot of it was practical. So the mall was practical, even the van. I mean, all of that stuff. We were in. They build the world for you, and they kind of just build from the ground up.
One of the joys, I've covered this movie in a number of ways with you and Chris, and to see you guys together, you actually really do like each other a lot. you really vibe with each other. It's a really sweet relationship. I mean, Chris is the greatest human being on the planet. You can attest to this. Can you talk to me a little bit about clicking with him from the start and how you guys connected?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's always scary going into a new production because you're working alongside different people and you really want to get along. But the things I've heard about Chris Pratt are like, he's the best. So the first day I come in, I'm like, it's the first day of school. I'm like, is he the best? Is he? And he is. He welcomed me with a warm hug, and he goes, we're gonna do this together. We're gonna do this together. We're gonna leave this together. And it felt like a collaboration. He improvs a lot. I love to stick to a script. Like, that's what I like to do. And Chris is like, I'm gonna go off on a tangent, and I'm like, he keeps me on my toes a lot. So that whole like Veronica moment, that was all improv, and I genuinely did hear Veronica. So there's moments in that stay in the film that you go, oh my gosh, like he is a brilliant actor, and he definitely kept me on my toes all the time.
Well, kudos to you for staying in the moment when he's going crazy. Does his relentless positivity rub off on you too?
Drive me crazy? Yeah. I come in a bad mood. He's like, what are you? You're in a bad mood. You're living your dream. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Just like a brilliant person. He every Friday night fly home to his family in LA and would be with his kids. Great husband, and a great father, and a great co-star. Very present for me, and they rarely come along, those kinds of gems. So when you find them, no wonder the Russos keep working with him.
So, I mean, there are different ways to motivate actors. When it comes to the Russos, as far as I understand it, sometimes it's a cannoli. Is that true?
Yeah, if I did a good job, I got a cannoli. That was my bribery, and it worked every time. I'll tell you.
Must be good cannoli.
I would do a crying scene, and they'd be like, "You want a cannoli?" And I'm like, "Okay, I killed that."
How many cannolis was that scene? That was really good.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Well, thank you. No, seriously. I mean, I was in overalls, so I could kind of keep eating cannolis. It didn't really matter. But yeah, they are very big Italian family, Italian production company. Stanley Tucci is like very much like cooking, and it's a whole Italian. It's amazing, and it's great being a Bon Jovi and being an Italian on an Italian set. I was like, yes, the cannoli, let's go.
You really can't get away from the 80s or the 90s, can you?
No, it's killing me.
I mean, you probably got kind of like the Amblin starter kit DVD set with links when you did Stranger Things, and similarly here you probably get like the sheet code, the sheet box of the 90s.
Yeah, I lied a lot. Like, I told people that I saw all the 80s movies to get into Stranger Things, because you lie. Actors lie. So, you could ride a bike, you could ride a horse, yeah, I could do that. You could, yeah, you've seen E.T., you've seen The Goonies, and I was, 10 years old when I auditioned for Stranger Things. I was like, yeah. I didn't, but I got the job, so we're here. So, so a lot of the references they made in this film, I was like, yeah, it's so cool. Love that. Born in 2004.
Right. So is there anything retained from osmosis through fashion that you kind of caught on to, or?
Love Drew Barrymore, so a lot of I put Drew in the middle of my inspiration, my mood board. I basically built around a picture that I found of her. So I thought, what's the easiest thing to put on in the morning? Overalls. What's comfortable? Converse. Let's dye my hair. And clearly I love to do that. So I was like, okay, and then I'll grow out the root because she seems like she's grieving and still kind of depressed from the mourning of her brother. So I mean, our whole family, so I'm gonna let that grow out, and kind of this very dark, grungy makeup. So love the 90s hair and makeup. Love all of that, really indulged in that. And then Chris Pratt really drew from Han Solo, that was his kind of, that was in the middle of his. And then actually, he's just like, I need this wig, I really want long hair in the film. And I was like, okay. So everyone was like, okay, and then mid-film, after like, we're gonna have to cut the hair. We're gonna have to figure out a way to cut his hair mid-film. So he's like, what? So hair came really in handy.
Did you keep the overalls? Did you keep Chris's hair? Did you keep anything?
Definitely not Chris's hair. I kept a couple of things from Cosmo, because Cosmo was like a huge part of my whole experience. So as much as I loved working with the human actors, Cosmo and we started the experience together. So I got to keep dolls of him and things like that. I got to keep scrunchies that I had and the flannel. So I like to keep momentous things. On the last season of Stranger Things, I took pretty much everything. Yeah, it was like a yard sale.
Where did that go? It's in the trailer. So you talked a bit about working with Cosmo and the actor that you previously worked with. I mean, talk to me a little bit about that experience of walking in with another actor in a mocap suit and then seeing the finished product. That must be just for you as an actor to see. It must be validating to see that the emotion comes through in those scenes.
You really have to leave your humility at the door, because what you don't see is that the mocap actor will come in and I'll have to basically, she's in this morph, all of them are in morph suits with a bunch of stickers all over them. And so when you're talking to them and interacting with them, you look crazy. You do. And then they go, okay, that was great. Now we're going to take the mocap out and do a clean pass. Then you really look crazy because you're staring into thin air. So Chris and I would have a room full of robots, and then they would take all of those mocap actors out, and then Chris and I would have to make sure our eye line is right for each robot, because each robot is different heights, and they move in certain directions. And even the way I would hug Cosmo, I would hug like a human would hug. So my skin would kind of press softly because she's a human being, the one I was working with, but I had to learn how to touch metal, so your hand kind of stops.
and it's harder, and you learn things that you are very different, something I kind of had to learn along the way, but I got the hang of it. And then to see the final product, it's very rewarding because you feel like you look crazy.
Yeah, all that. Yeah. I would ask you to demonstrate, but I don't want you to get in and out of that chair again.
It would be scary enough.
But know that she has the ability to hug a robot that is not.
Yeah, I do know. It's not that I don't know. I love that line. She's like, I love that line. And all of that, like all of the voice act, most of it's improv. Like Jenny Slate, they said she improv'd a lot of it. So that's also so like amazing to me. Like all of them had established scenes. Chris and I had filmed months and months and months before them, and they come in and they have to now build characters and implement these characteristics so that you fall in love with the robots after. So that's also like incredibly impressive to me.
Yeah, and I think it's also a testament to the film. The first time I saw it, I actually didn't know who was doing the voices, and I picked up on something like, oh, that's Woody Harrelson, but like Mackie I didn't pick up on, etc. So that's, yeah, just another testament to those performances as well. We have to talk about the farm you bring along with you to every production. How many millions of dollars was spent erasing goats from the background of shots?
It's more about the bear in the background. He was Eminem and Norman, who I was raising during this time. They would come to set, and you just hear them in the background slowly. But Chris runs a farm, so he and I got along. So I kind of was like, okay, you want to get your co-stars on board, but I definitely brought a lot of pit bulls. I brought a lot of puppies in wagons, like maybe 8 puppies in a wagon, and I would be like, who wants a puppy? Or who wants a cuddle with a puppy? Because on these night shoots, like in Happy Land, we were miserable. It was so cold, and we were doing night shoots, and we were exhausted, so I brought puppies along, and the crew loved it, the puppies loved it, and we got like, over 20 dogs adopted on that set, so it was really cool.
Your lawyer really gets the big bucks because they have to put into that contract, Millie can bring a menagerie with her wherever she goes. Noah's Ark goes wherever. That's an unusual clause, I would imagine, in a contract.
Yeah, I know. I always, like, in the morning, it's kind of like whoever makes it in the car gets to come. And it's kind of like Jake and I are just like, oh, always like 5 minutes late, just like, oh God. And then we get in the car and somehow there's a goat. The goat like runs in the car and knows how to like jump in because we're his parents, rightfully so, I get it. And then, we have Winnie who's like trying to make everything about her, and then we have like a Rottweiler, and it's just like, okay, whoever makes it in the car and gets like the puppuccino at Starbucks wins,
I'd be motivated by a puppuccino or a cannoli too. Okay, so we're at the finish line. We're at this Q&A, and right before this movie finally drops for the world to see. It's been a long road. I mean, talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling, the sense of anticipation whenever a project that you pour your heart and soul into comes out.
This is where I cut. Like, this is where I'm like, it's gonna come out, and I'm proud of it. I worked hard on it, and so many people worked hard on it. A huge crew, and the people in the post-production worked so hard on it. This is a fun movie for families to watch together and to reflect on your relationship with technology, to ensure there's balance between reality and technology and social media. And I hope that people are able to watch the film and take what they will from it, but the kids can enjoy the robots and the fighting and the jokes, but the parents can really think about the underbelly and the messaging of the film, which is to protect your children and to ensure that the reality and human connection is far more important than anything else. And that is the heart of the film.
Thank you for sharing your time with us today. I know it's been a long road. As I said, you're almost there. Good luck getting to the finish line. And thank you to Millie. Thank you to this audience for coming out.
Acabou o filme! Vocês viram a entrevista que ela deu? Ai, gente, ela é muito fofa. Ela é uma pessoa maravilhosa, sério. Quando eu fui no lançamento do livro dela, deu pra conversar melhor com ela, mas não deu pra eu filmar, porque eles não deixavam filmar. Mas aqui foi uma coisa bem legal. O filme é muito legal, tem uma crítica muito boa com a tecnologia, o que está tornando, né, a tecnologia. Então é muito legal para a família inteira, todo mundo vai gostar, assistir e tudo mais. E é isso, então vai lá na Netflix e confira o filme, porque tá muito, muito da hora. E é isso. Tá na fila aqui, falar pra vocês. Então, assistam o filme, tá muito legal. É um filme da Netflix, então é pra família toda. Que nem eu vou falar, tipo, as palavras que a Millie falou. As crianças vão gostar por causa dos robôs, das lutas e tudo mais. E os pais para ficarem atentos, né, na crítica da tecnologia, né, o que está se tornando a internet, essas coisas e tudo mais, a dependência tecnológica do ser humano. E eu achei muito legal porque se passa em 1990, então tem essa vibe, sabe? E é muito legal. O filme te surpreende, você fica tipo feliz, triste, dá risada, tem um monte de piada. Então, sei lá, vale muito a pena. Eu acho que você assistir o filme aí no conforto da sua casa, né, na Netflix. Então, vale muito a pena. E é isso, gente. Eu vou ficando por aqui. Se você gostou, deixa um like, se não, se inscreve aqui no canal. E eu vejo vocês no próximo vídeo. E tem foto lá no Instagram se vocês quiserem conferir.